Hello, everybody, and welcome to our spoiler-free, our very spoiler-free review, wouldn't you say, Mason?
That's right, folks. We're going to try this again.
Now, hang on just a minute.
We're going to see how much we can talk about a TV series without going, oh, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then here's the big reveal.
And then I think this is going to happen, but then that thing doesn't happen ultimately, does it?
That's right, yeah. We definitely have a 100% strike rate of saying a thing is going to happen. That's undeniable.
Agreed. So leave a like if you could. This is going to be a very vague spoiler-free review of the first 2 episodes of Loki. Our spoiler-heavy review, edited by Collings, is being edited right now, but the audio edition is available at bigsandwich.co, where all the reviews go up early, don't they, Mason?
My goodness, yes.
But that being said, if you don't want to know anything about Loki...
Don't watch Loki.
Or this.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Any of it.
Yeah, that's right. Stay off the internet. Get out of here.
But, so yeah, we're going to do our best to keep this as vague as possible. But Mason, what do you think of the TV show Loki, spoiler-free?
I think of the 3 that we've seen so far, WandaVision, Falcon, Winter Soldier, and this.
Yep.
I think this might be my favourite so far.
Same, I agree.
And you know why? It's the interplay between Loki and Mobius.
Absolutely.
It's for all the Tom Hiddleston, Owen Wilson stands, the Stinson stands.
Yep.
You're going to be loving this because they've got a great chemistry, I think.
They do. They got a really good back and forth. Their relationship is this kind of odd dynamic where he's a sort of god who, he's been, thundering across the universe just making trouble. But Owen Wilson knows all these tricks and is also a god of sorts.
Yeah,
in a way.
As a creation of the Time Variance Authority, he is, he's not all powerful, but he knows. He knows a thing or two about a thing or two. What is interesting, I think, is that they both share kind of similar attributes. They're both they don't necessarily play by the rules. They're both very smart.
Yep.
But Loki is desperate to let everybody know how clever he is, whereas Mobius is happy to keep those particular cards close to his chest.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. Also, the pictures of this won't match up exactly what's happening because I don't have all of the footage because I can't use any of it at this point, of course, because this is spoiler free. So it's just what's available. But I also think this show, and again, it's only being 2, it's very compelling from the get-go, but it also tells you kind of what's going on at a pretty decent clip.
Yeah.
People probably know this from the trailers, but it picks up right after his disappearance in Avengers Endgame. And it's not like WandaVision where
which is also his disappearance at the end of Avengers.
Well, that is also true.
His double disappearance, yeah.
So yeah, I think unlike WandaVision where it took a few episodes to kind of let you know what was going on, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier was pretty straightforward. It's just like, we're going to go here and we're going to punch this person. This feels to me, if I had to compare it to any shows or books or anything like that, it's kind of like Legion or A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, or an awful Doctor Who. So some versions of Doctor Who. Most versions of Doctor Who.
Sure, yeah.
Is generally pretty awful.
Yeah, this kind of hits the ground running. There's a lot of new factors built into this show because obviously, we've dipped our toes into the time stream in Avengers Endgame, but this is we're in the deep end now.
Yeah.
Like as opposed to a bunch of bloody Avengers time travel debutantes in Avengers Endgame.
Yes.
These guys have been doing it for a while. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they've been doing it for an amount of time, which they don't even know at this point.
Probably an infinite amount of time.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, this is absurd.
Yeah, the idea is that I can't really give away any plot points, can I?
Any plot points, can you?
But look, Loki...
You wouldn't think Loki and the Time Variance Authority would team up, but they got to team up for reasons.
That's right. It's interesting that Loki is the same version that's fresh out of the Avengers. So he's just been absolutely trounced.
Yes.
And then he's thrown into this very bizarre situation. And he's used to being in charge and having all of his magical abilities and being the smartest person in the room. But then he's in a situation where he's fighting for his survival within this bizarre bureaucracy of time police. While sort of also solving mysteries at the same time.
Feels a little bit like one of those Tom Hiddleston movies where he's not Loki, he's a different guy and he's in a big high-rise or something.
Or something,
and
yeah.
you're like, well, that looks interesting, I'll watch that at some point, and then you don't watch it.
Yeah,
The
Night Manager.
Sure.
That high-rise one that you mentioned.
Yes.
Maybe those are the same thing.
Maybe they're in the same universe.
But I think what works for me as well, like aesthetically, it's very interesting, and it is like a lot of real sets. Maybe they're using the volume on this, though I don't believe so, from what I can tell. But it does have this kind of golden ethereal glow to it, especially like the headquarters, which they work out of.
It's a golden ethereal glow, and it's also a very kind of 1970s.
Yeah.
The headquarters that they live in is sort of, and work in, is sort of a mix of just these enormous kind of cosmic sets and environment that goes on forever, but it's also a bunch of like very claustrophobic Mad Men style,
Yes.
like wooden lined offices and old computers and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I also think what's interesting about this is there is this sense always that, like, the universe is going to collapse as a result of the timeline, but everybody's just very casual about it.
Yeah.
Like, it happens every day. It's very matter of fact. Like, things in this series feel like it's the most important thing ever, and also, like, who cares?
Sure, and therein lies the fun.
Yeah. But I feel like, though, and, you know, the people behind this have talked about how it's going to have ramifications for the future. And from the very get-go of these episodes, you do get that sense that this is a whole factor of the MCU which we haven't seen before. And look, there's a very good chance we get to the end and they just kind of cap it off and go, don't worry about it. Don't worry about this anymore.
Sure, yeah.
But it seems like this is going to work into Doctor Strange and the Spider-Man multiverse movie that's coming up and all these different things, because this is all about, you know, branching timelines and various events that can happen, Allah, sorry,
Yeah, go on.
Avengers Endgame.
That's right, yeah.
AKA Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's everything I like about this kind of show. It's just big ideas and silly, like 1970s Marvel stuff.
Yep.
Every time you think you've reached the end of what the MCU is going to present to us, they give us another dimension. In this
Yeah.
case, kind of literally. They're like, okay, well, we've seen Earth, we've seen outer space, we've seen people doing kung fu. But what if they were doing kung fu throughout time?
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. So look, all in all, again, without spoiling anything, I hope we haven't at this point. I mean,
No, we said we liked it.
yeah.
That's a spoiler. That
look,
counts.
if you liked the other two, you're definitely going to like this. And if you didn't like the other two, I think, but you're a fan of like the MCU or comic book stuff in general, this might be a little bit more your speed.
I think even if you didn't like the previous ones, if you were like, oh, WandaVision has strayed too far from the path of Marvel movies, or if you're like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it's fairly standard action fare.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of maybe the Guardians movies, if you like
Sure,
you like Ragnarok especially, I think this sort of fits very firmly in the pocket of that.
if you like the good episodes of Doctor Who,
Sure.
then, you know, this is also a bit of that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you like that episode where there was an astronaut and he killed Doctor Who, and you're like, who's the astronaut? How's Doctor Who going to get out of this one? And then he just got out of it very easily.
Was he inside a robot of himself
He
or
was
something?
inside a robot of himself or something, or somebody else was in a robot of him. Yeah.
Yeah. And was he the astronaut also?
Maybe he was the astronaut.
I don't remember.
Maybe River was the astronaut. Maybe it was the Master. It's always the Master.
It's often the master.
Maybe it was the Daleks.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyways, our...
Oh, that reminds me. We haven't thus far seen. This is a non-spoiler. We haven't seen Alphonse Gamble, the Marvel Doctor Who. You know, the
Yes.
Doctor Who ripoff
Yeah.
that is just inexplicably squeezed into Marvel Comics sometimes, who's also in the TVA sometimes. He's not in it yet.
Yet.
Or ever. Who
Yeah.
knows?
We'll see,
It's
won't
a
we?
pretty long shot, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if he is, he'll be in an astronaut suit. A robot of himself.
Exactly. So look, if you are interested in the spoiler-heavy review, that is up right now at bigsandwich.co. If you want to sign up, there's a bunch of early podcasts there and movie commentaries and things that we've done already. Plus our podcast, The Weekly Planet, goes up there a day early.
But if you want a spoiler-heavy review, but it also has pictures, and it's been verily well edited by Collings. And some
AKA.
little visual jokes and stuff.
Yeah.
That'll be up on the YouTube. I
Very
think.
soon,
Very
exactly.
soon,
Yeah. But if you do have any thoughts, theories, speculation, please let them.
Give us
leave
theories.
them
Yeah.
below. And we'll bloody get out of here, won't we, Mason?
That's right.
Thanks for watching, guys. We appreciate it.
Grabbed our damn you guys. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.